Thank you very much, Louise. Well, there's still an Independence Drivers' Championship to be sorted out, and it's going to be interesting because some of the front runners are near the front of the grid, Tim.
Yeah, and not only that, we've got a reverse grid, so we're bound to get some overtaking for not the first time today, but certainly an exciting racing prospect.
No, definitely. The earlier races, Plato's dominated them, but now he's got his work cut out because he's down in 7th place on the grid, thanks to the good old reverse grid. It's Andrew Jordan who'll be starting from pole. Funnily enough, he did so last time at Donington. That Jordan family, they love getting that reverse grid somehow, don't they?
Yeah, I think they're paying Alan Gow somehow to rig the sort of the lottery that is the reverse grid, because they seem to pull it more often than anyone else.
He had a win earlier this year. His only win to date was at Croft, which again was from the reverse grid pole, and he made a great break. If you remember in that race, he sort of made the early break and got away. That might be a little harder to achieve here at Brands, but just look at how the crowd has stuck around this afternoon. Wonderful to see. The championship might be sorted, but these guys are still giving it their full support.
Well, these are touring car aficionados and fans, aren't they? And it's great to see families. It's you know, it's a product for the family. The kids can get their stickers and their posters, and there's no other television sport where you can turn up on the day and actually meet the protagonists face to face.
That's right, and there's been a lot for the kids to do as well. There's sort of fun fair going on just behind our commentary position, loads of things for all the family, and now everyone here still staying on to watch this final British touring car race of the day, of the season. In fact, race number 30 of this championship, and Andrew Jordan will be starting up front. He's got Stephen Kane alongside. Stephen is one of the guys going for the Independence title, but so is Tom Chilton, who starts 3rd on the grid, and Tom Onslow Cole starts all the way back on the 10th row of the grid, so he's 19th position for him. He's currently leading those points, but of course that's going to be a bit hard for him because he's so far back.
Yeah, I mean, but this is the race where anything can happen. You know, the championship's decided from an overall point of view, so the guys know this is the last race, the last chance to impress. There's nothing to lose, but so let's go for it. And I think there'll be some cracking racing. And of course, I'm desperately keen to see whether Jason Plato can come through and crack that, be the all-time winningest touring car driver.
Yeah, that would be remarkable, particularly from 7th. But the sun just dropping a little bit. That's going to make life a little bit difficult down the Cooper Straight. It'll be right in their eyes. They go away on their formation lap. And we are going to see if we can have a quick word with Gordon Shedden, one of the 4 who came today hoping to win the championship. Unfortunately, he missed out. Gordon, this is Ben in the commentary box. It was bad news in that second race for you, the drive shaft failure putting you out of contention for the championship. But one more race to go. What can you do in this one?
I just got to try and give it everything, Ben. Obviously, you know, real tough luck. Absolutely gutted that that happened at the start of race 2, but it is what it is, unfortunately. Nothing I can do about it. It's the only mechanical failure I've had all year. It's just sod's law that happened then. But no weight in the car now. Back row, nothing to lose. Let's give it everything, see how we go.
Yeah, and you've got Tom Onslow Cole around you as well, so the two of you should be fighting your way.
Yeah, he's had a bit of a crap day as well, so you know, I think McDowell's back, he's as well, so you know, get some quick cars back here. At least it's going to give everybody some good overtaking.
Great, well, enjoy the show. Thanks very much. And as he says, yes, that's a good point. Alex McDowell is right behind Gordon in one of those quick Chevys, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on both ends of this grid.
Well, that's the great thing about this race, isn't there? There's going to be action aplenty everywhere, from the guys coming through for the reverse top 10 and, of course, the guys at the back.
So the championship is settled. Jason Plato has won it. But you're looking at the overall championship there, and there's this sort of separate battle that's going on for the independents between the likes of Tom Onslow Cole, Tom Chilton and Stephen Kane. So they're going for their own independents title for teams that are not manufacturer-backed. So that's an important one to go for. Andrew Jordan, as you can see, 10th in the points. Well, he is the man who is starting on pole position for this race in the Pertec car, and alongside him in the Airways BMW is Stephen Kane. So they're on the front row. Then you've got Tom Chilton and Paul O'Neill. Paul O'Neill desperate to beat Rob Collard in the points, and Collard starts just behind him. Matt Neal's on 6th place on the grid. Behind them you've got Jason Plato, of course, starting 7th, then Matt Jackson, James Nash, Andy Neate, Sam Tordoff, who we heard from on the grid, Ben Collins, he starts on the outside of row number 6, then Tom Boardman, John George, Lee Wood, Arthur Forster, and then Sean Hollenby and Gordon Shedden. So as you can see, he's got a lot of work to do from back there as Gordon, but he's done it on several occasions this year. Tom Onslow Cole on row 10 with Alex McDowell, then Martin Depper, James Kay. I'm hoping, yeah, Martin Johnson has made it back out now. He's on the back of the grid. I can see them as they go round on the formation. There, he's just going through shot, actually. Martin Johnson going through the picture in his venerable Astra Coupe, but it's still going, which is great news, and heading down the hill towards the left-hander at Graham Hill Bend. So there's Gordon Shedden. He's got Tom Onslow Cole behind him, and as we mentioned, for Onslow Cole, this is a key race if he's going to try and win the Independence Championship. He's going to have to cut his way through. Interesting on-board view with Shedden's car.
Yeah, that's a rear of Gordon's car there, so all the other engineers can have a little look at that and see what it's doing, work on it over the winter. Yeah, it's an interesting shot, as I said earlier, just seeing how much movement there actually is in that. And a touring car is very much dependent on that control of those dampers to control the weight of the car and affect how the tyre works.
Yeah, and Gordon Shedden will be seeing how much he can do here. Of course, Jason Plato, having taken 2 wins today, brings his tally of the season up to 7 victories. It is that big number 61 that matters to him most, though. Can he do it from 7th on the grid? He's matched Andy Rouse, the great 4 times British touring car champion. Of course, Andy Rouse, he took 3 in a row, but his first championship was way back in 1975.
Yeah, that's true. But of course, there are 3 races every meeting now, so a lot more races per year, 30 in all, that the drivers can race in. In Andy Rouse's day, sometimes they used to only have 12 per year. So
that's a very good point. Yes, Andy winning for his first time in a Triumph Dolomite Sprint, I do believe, his first championship. And he drove an Alfa Rover and a Ford Sierra Turbo.
Believe it or not, Tom Onslow Cole in the pits again.
Oh, for goodness sake, would you believe it? He really has had a miserable time. And in terms of trying to win that Independence Championship, it's going from bad to worse. What a horrible weekend he's had. You're going to have to forget this one, Tom. We're getting ready then for the final race of the season to get underway. It's quite a long hold on to wait for those lights to come on, and now we go. And Andrew Jordan just gets that Vauxhall off the line. It's a great start from Rob Collard, but he's got Chilton right ahead of him. Stephen Kane has moved into 2nd place, so Kane in 2nd, trying to go around the outside as Paul O'Neill gets in a bit out of shape, still out of shape, holds it just about, but he's got Chilton on his inside, who probably will have a chance. John George in trouble with, was that Matt
Gordon
Neal?
Shedden, I think.
No, it's Matt, I think.
It is, black head screen, that's Matt Neal, you're right.
Meanwhile, Paul O'Neill's on the grass coming down the hill out of Graham Hill Bend. He's got back on by the time we see him, and Jordan has made a break. Stephen Kane in 2nd place. Collard's been squeezed out by Paul O'Neill. These two are battling for points in the championship. Hollenby's off in the background.
It's all going off as we predicted, isn't it? But yeah, Matt Neal definitely in trouble, and well, I think he's out of this race. He's limping round, but oh, there's more carnage up at Clearways.
Yeah, I can't quite see who that is, whether it's Paul O'Neill or John George.
I think that's John George off at Surtees and getting out the car. Were we going to have a safety car?
We'll have to wait and see. Yeah, O'Neill's just gone through in 4th, so he's okay. It's Andrew Jordan who leads the race. Stephen Kane is in Lee Wood, it is, in another Integra. So that's a shame, a disappointing end to his season. But it's Jordan leading from Kane. Chilton is 3rd. O'Neill is still in 4th place, but under pressure from Collard. Plato is 6th, so he's only gained 1 place so far, Jason Plato, from his 7th place starting position. And he's just going on to the back straight there in the blue Chevy as he tries to make up some places. He's behind Collard and O'Neill, who are side by side through Surtees. Have they made it? I think they have.
Yeah, that was under a yellow flag as well, very much so. So look, you can see the yellow flag left-hand side of your screen, and there was definite passing there, I think, by Collard.
Yeah, that could be tricky. Maybe a penalty to be applied. Safety car on track. Safety car will pick up the race leader, Andrew Jordan. So that little break that he had made, it's disappearing now because they'll all close up behind him.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew will be glad that the temperatures are dropping because he suffered with front tyre wear in the hotter conditions earlier. So he'll be glad the tyres are going to have an easier life in this last race, but he won't be glad of the safety car to close everybody up behind him.
No, that's right. Let's just run through the order then. It's Andrew Jordan, Stephen Kane, Tom Chilton. Then Collard in 4th, O'Neill 5th, Plato 6th, Matt Jackson is 7th, James Nash 8th, Ben Collins has got up to 9th, and Gordon Shedden is 10th. That's pretty impressive. We were talking to Gordon, he was back on the 9th row. He started 18th, and Shedden is already 10th. This is Matt Neal's start. Let's see what went wrong.
Yeah, don't forget, he hasn't made a good start all day, and you can see he hasn't made a good start there. Everyone's driven past him. Now, he's definitely got a problem. That could well be another broken drive shaft, just like happened to Gordon Shedden's car, because he's it's broken on the way on the start line, and he's just limped round, I think. Is he in the pits or has he been retired? But the safety car's in. Jordan's already gone. That's caught them all on the hop.
Wow, Andrew Jordan. Yeah, Andrew Jordan has suddenly disappeared, hasn't he? Up the road, Stephen Kane under pressure from Tom Chilton for the second position, but Andrew Jordan's taken full advantage of that, and Stephen Kane was caught napping, so he's now got a real handful here because Tom Chilton's bearing down on him in the Ford, and that LPG-powered Ford wants a last gasp of glory here as we're in the final race. Right behind him we've got Collard as well, and then O'Neill, and it's a whole long line of them. Behind O'Neill is Jason Plato, then Matt Jackson, James Nash in the black car. He's chased by Ben Collins and Gordon Shedden, who has certainly made up some ground, and Collins just ran a bit wide on the backstretch there. On board with Plato though, as he chases Paul O'Neill through Surtees.
Yeah, what a great restart by Andrew Jordan. He really leapt away, caught the others napping there. I think they just relaxed and thought, well, it'll be a couple of laps, whatever. And I don't know when the safety lights, car lights went out, but Jordan was absolutely on the ball and got it nailed.
So across the line they come. Jordan is got that comfortable lead. I think Shedden's gained another place, or has he? No, he's side by side, in fact, with Collins as they went across the line. And just looking in the background from there, Shedden, no, he has got back in front of Collins. So Shedden, I think, has moved into 9th place. There's Jordan with his nice handy lead of nearly 2 seconds. Look at that. What a view that was. Looking back from Shedden, he's just ahead of Tordoff there. So we'll have another look at that in a moment. It may just be that he's got another one of those Airwaves cars to fight his way past.
Yeah, there's a lot of action in the back, and you can see coming up the inside there into Surtees. Who was that? Was that Collins?
Or McDowell, I'm not quite sure.
I think it was McDowell passing Collins into Surtees. Good move.
Yeah, so still looking back at Tordoff at the moment. Sam Tordoff from Gordon Shedden's car. Race leader is Andrew Jordan with a 1.5 second advantage, and a good lap from Rob Collard there, a 49.2 from Rob Collard. Excellent lap from the BMW driver. This is the tangle that we were watching. This was on board with Shedden. Bosh got a hit from behind, but it didn't actually hurt him too much. So Jordan leads. There he is in the multicoloured number 77 car. Can he hold on for a second victory this year? Stephen Kane in second. He's ahead of Chilton, but I'll tell you what, Kane needs to be ahead of Chilton by more than 1 place if he's to win that Independence title. At the moment, it's looking good for Tom Chilton to win the Independence title. Back on board with Plato, trying to squeeze up the inside of O'Neill. Didn't come off.
No, Paul O'Neill wasn't going to give Plato any room there. Look how much ground Plato's lost as a result. Look, he's got BMW on his right-hand side. That must be Jackson.
Matt Jackson down the inside of his former teammate at Chevrolet, and he might be followed through by James Nash, another former Chevrolet driver who gets past Plato. So he's lost 2. That really is a surprise.
Yeah, that was his just the attack that he made there earlier in the lap at Clearways cost him 2 places on the run down to paddock.
So his former teammates having no respect for his new status as a double champion. He's just been passed by Jackson and Nash, and that puts Plato back in 8th place now. So into that lower sun he goes. He's chased by Shedden now. Look at that.
Yeah, it just shows why you defend every place, because Paul O'Neill now is a good 100 yards up the road and 2 cars between him and Plato. This time round last lap, Plato was knocking on his back door.
Well, Plato is still carrying ballast, but he seemed to do it pretty well in the early 2 races. Now it's maybe proven to be a bit harder work in the middle of the pack. Jordan still leads this race. Andrew Jordan by 1.0 seconds now. That was still a quicker lap from Stephen Kane in the BMW behind him. Then it's Chilton, then Collard, then O'Neill still holding on to 5th. Jackson is now 6th, of course, ahead of Nash and Plato. Then it's Shedden. Tordoff is in 10th. Ben Collins 11th. Then McDowell, as we're riding on board with Gordon Shedden. Looking forwards, we're in 9th place, and we're looking right at the back of the car of Jason Plato.
Yeah, it'd be ironic now, wouldn't it, if Shedden passed Plato in this race when they couldn't pass him earlier, and of course it doesn't matter now anyway.
No, it's all over, isn't it? But a bit of honour at stake. Maybe Shedden will look for the chance, has a little think about the inside into Clearways. Oh, I wondered if there might be a little tap, but he couldn't quite get there, could he? And Plato holds on to 8th position for the moment. But that 61st victory is not looking particularly likely for Jason Plato at the moment.
No, it's not, but up front the gap is coming down. Stephen Kane's now got it to just under a second, and the BMW's flying because his teammate Matt Jackson's just set fastest lap.
So there comes Shedden having a little look up the outside into the hairpin. As you say, Jackson with that fastest lap. But there's O'Neill. We've got a quick glimpse there of O'Neill and Jackson. They're still fighting. And meanwhile, Collard a bit further up. He's trying to get past Tom Chilton. So there are little battles going on all the way through the field at the moment. And Plato having to work pretty hard to keep Shedden behind him. Remember, we've lost Matt Neal from this race already.
Yeah, very different lines there from Plato and Shedden through that whole approach through Surtees and into clearways. Plato coming in a little bit earlier and straight lining his break into clearways, and Gordon Shedden taking a wide line in and getting a good run out of clearways.
Another tenth of a second has been taken off. Andrew Jordan, Shedden trying to have a look into paddock. Oh no, couldn't do it, wasn't close enough. And Plato really went in quick, you could see by how much he had to control the car. And he's having another think up into the hairpin.
Yeah, a certain amount. This is the weight that's on board. Don't forget, Shedden has none and Plato has 45. So that's a big difference in braking ability. And slides up the inside.
Oh, he still hasn't done it. That was pretty good. I thought they would take each other off there, but they gave each other space.
Yeah, Plato didn't turn into the apex. Watch the different lines through here. Shedden's trying to line up a roof to the inside. He just gets close. Little touch there. It's not enough. It's not enough. Is it enough? Yes, it is.
Lovely stuff from Gordon Shedden, because it was just the gentlest of rubs, but just enough to make a bit of space. Now he's got the inside line. It's a side-by-side fight towards Paddock Hill Bend. He's got the inside line, and he brakes late, gets it turned in, and Gordon Shedden has taken Plato. He is into 8th position.
Yeah, look at that. There isn't a mark on the front of Shedden's car. How beautifully did he do that?
Well, it was certainly pretty clever stuff. I tell you what, up front though, Andrew Jordan's lead has been eaten away, and Stephen Kane is just a couple of tenths of a second behind, even closer than he was when he crossed the line, I think, because watching them go down the backstretch, there's not much between them. There is Andrew Jordan now, and look how close Stephen Kane is behind him.
Yeah, Andrew Jordan's just starting to run into that period where the tyres are really having to work hard, but the BMW, no drop off in performance so far. I mean, his best lap is a 49.2, and he's not far away from that on the last lap.
And Matt Jackson's taking Paul O'Neill by the look of it. He's got the inside line here, and Jackson should be able to finish this move off as they turn into paddock. Again, as you say, that rear-wheel drive BMW coming into its own as the race progresses, and we're only at about half distance. There's still time to pick off some more places here.
Yeah, the BMW very good off clearways. It puts the power down really well once the front-wheel drive cars are losing traction from the front, and they're able to just turn up the inside before they get to that pit wall.
Remember, if Stephen Kane, who's currently in second place there, is going to win the Independence Championship for drivers, he has to get a car between himself and Tom Chilton. He needs to get past Andrew Jordan if he's to win that title, but Jordan will not give up the lead of this race, and a possible second victory this season without a big fight. You can bet on that. So this is a fantastic encounter between two guys really racing hard and desperate for a good result at the end of the year.
Yeah, Stephen Kane needs to do this really clinically and surgically, because he wants to get past, but he doesn't want to muscle Jordan out in such a way that the others get past as well. So it's got to be a very, very careful manoeuvre.
Yeah, that's right. It needs somebody's off in
paddock.
Paddock Hill gravel track.
It's an Airways car, I think.
We think it might be Ben Collins. The dust is clearing gradually, but we'll take another look at that in a moment. Yeah, it is Ben Collins, and the driver, formerly known as the Stig, is in the dig. And the safety car, apparently, is it going to be? Yeah, it is. The safety car's back on track.
Oh, this is just what Andrew Jordan didn't want, but well, Stig's turned the course of this race around, hasn't he?
Absolutely, yeah. Well, yeah. He's always there to provide the drama, of course. And so the safety car in front there is Ben Collins' car.
No, it looks like the left front tyre's off the rim. Look at that. So maybe some contact, and he's just gone straight on there. It doesn't look like a puncture though. Looks like damage.
Yeah. So Gordon Shedden in 8th place now, and has moved up behind James Nash, and Paul O'Neill now in 6th place. But there is Andrew Jordan, of course, having lost that little bit of momentum, but of course it does give him a chance to cool those front tyres down a bit.
Yeah, a little bit, but you know, he's definitely under attack now, and a lot of radio chatter from Gordon Shedden we can hear back to the Dynamics team, and well, his octave has certainly gone up a few notches for the excitement of the race. I'm not sure if he thinks he was overtaken perhaps under the safety car or something, but we'll hopefully ask him when we get a chance.
Let's just take a look at what happened to Ben Collins. Let's just see at the bottom of the screen, I think. Wait for it. What happened? Oh. And he already had, did he already have the
No,
function?
I think he already had that. I think that tyre was probably already gone, and that's why he couldn't stop the car.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a great shame for Ben Collins. It really has been a tough weekend for him. Let's see if we can have a word with Gordon Shedden. He's made good progress. We spoke to him on the warm-up lap. Gordon, it's Ben in the combox here. You seem to have made some pretty good progress. This race seems a bit topsy-turvy. You found a way past Jason Plato now.
Yeah, I think obviously I've got no ballast in this race and Jason's got 45, so it makes quite a big difference. But I guess his job's done, isn't it, in this championship, where you know, he's probably had a few beers, and that may be the wrong thing to say, but he's probably been enjoying himself and he'll be thinking about the bigger picture. But you know, we've had a good start in the Honda. The Civic's going really, really well. Safety car helps me out a little bit here, closes the pack up. So you know, with 11, 12 laps to go, let's see how far up we can end up.
Okay, Gordon, have a good one. Yeah, up to 8th. We'll see how he gets on with the rest of that. It's the James Nash car in front of him, the black Vauxhall is the next one for him, but they are still behind safety car, as you said. The lights are still on. So Andrew Jordan leads from Stephen Kane and Tom Chilton, then Rob Collard, Matt Jackson and Paul O'Neill. James Nash in 7th. There's Shedden's position, he's 8th. Plato in 9th. And then behind them we've got Tordoff, who's still running well, the new boy. He's running in 10th place. Jason heading down through... the safety car is going to be coming in. So he's having a little chat with his team at the moment. Jason Plato doesn't sound too perturbed.
Let's see if we can watch Andrew Jordan on this restart, because he got the last one so good, didn't he? I mean, the safety car lights have gone off very nice and early on the lap, so everybody will be aware of it. But again, Stephen Kane not really close enough. He should be closer, because if he's not right on the boot lid, he can never react as fast, and he'll lose whatever distance. Look, he's too far back. He's too far back. And Jordan's gone again. What is Kane doing?
It's strange, isn't it? Because he needs to get in front of Jordan to win this independence race. But again, as you say, he's left a big gap there.
Yeah, well, we're going to have to give him some lessons, aren't we, on restarts?
Across the line we go then. Andrew Jordan's been given a bit of a break again. 7/10 of a second over Stephen Kane. Chilton still chases. Collard is in 4th place. Then Jackson in 5th. And Stephen Kane has all that work to do. He'd done the work before the safety car came out of catching the race leader. Problem is, he's now got Tom Chilton right behind him, who will go with him and will put him under pressure. And Chilton knows that he can still win this independence title, so he's not going to give up very easily.
Now look at the sun on the screen there, the camera, as it just came in focus, and it's right in the driver's eyes as they go turning into Surtees. I found it here the other day when we tested it. It's really distracting.
Yeah, hard to see where you're going, and then you're into shade here at Clearways. It's not so difficult, but that stretch down the back Cooper Straight is difficult. Out of Clearways they come then, and it's still Jordan with the advantage. Andrew Jordan, the laps are ticking away, but we've still got 10 laps to go in this one. Stephen Kane in 2nd place, trying to make the break from Tom Chilton. Then you've got Collard and Matt Jackson, who's moved up well in this race. So Matt Jackson becoming a factor, and we'll see how his BMW behaves over the next few laps.
Yeah, Kane has certainly got the legs on Chilton. He's pulled away a little bit of a gap and actually closed on Jordan, but of course he could have started this last few laps right behind him and given himself more time to get past.
Yeah, meanwhile Chilton is definitely coming under more pressure from Collard, so that's 3rd, 4th and 5th place. That's Matt Jackson at the back of that group, but Collard in the middle in the number 6 car there, really beginning to put some pressure on. The Ford Focus, which is well up, but it's another car that tends to use its front tyres pretty hard. That turbocharged LPG powered car, it's powerful in a straight line, but it does burn up those front tyres, and that could be a challenge for Tom to hold on to that 3rd place. It's important to him though if he's going to win that Independence Trophy. Andrew Jordan still maintains the lead, about half a second at the moment, Tim.
Yeah, it is. It's still being chipped away by Kane, another 10th quicker on that lap, but a bit of Collard into the back of Chilton, trying to push him wide, but he hasn't pushed him far enough.
Now Chilton's going to fight
this could
back.
let Jackson through.
It could do.
Wait for it, Jackson will come up the inside and stick behind Chilton, who's got a faster car down the straight. Oh, how did Collard get back in there?
And no change in the end. You thought that had to be different as they came out, but it's still the same. Chilton 3rd, Collard 4th, Jackson 5th. The only difference is Paul O'Neill is catching them all again. So he's now joining in. Look, there he is in the Integra.
Yeah, with those sort of shenanigans, anyone close by is going to be right on the back, and Paul O'Neill fancies a bit of this. He's had an absolutely brilliant year, and he's been a great credit to the championship and his sponsors as well. So let's hope Paul can end the year on a high.
Yeah, well, he's closed up to the back of Matt Jackson's Airways BMW. Behind him is James Nash in the black car. Then it's Gordon Shenton, who hasn't made another move just yet. We heard from him during that safety car period, but there he is. He's getting a little closer to the back of Nash. There we are with the onboard view. That's how close he is getting. Now, what's he got to do here, Tim? Where can he size up that Vauxhall and perhaps gain an advantage?
Well, on the brakes is where the Civic is particularly strong, and especially when it's got no weight in it like this. So where we saw him pass here into Clearways, the next corner to the right, he's not close enough this lap, but you can see how much he closes. So there and into, Arthur Forster, yes.
In the BMW, and there could be, so we gather there might be fluids on the backstretch. He's trying to get going again, mind you, and he has found a gear. He's got a bit of damage. Let's see if we can spot what actually happened there. There is Arthur. He was battling with Martin Johnson. Johnson turning it. Oh no, there was already fluid down, was there, or did he chuck his own fluid out or something?
No, I think that that was just a little bit of a lock-up on the brakes.
Okay.
And then he gassed it up on the grasscrete on the exit.
Right, fair enough. Well, look at this battle for the lead. Kane has caught right back up again to Andrew Jordan. He's made up all that ground that he lost on the restart, but of course now there are fewer laps to go, so he's got to work hard here.
Right, he's still got 6 laps to go, so he has got time, and the good thing perhaps about that restart is at least he's dropped Chilton behind him, so he can attack Jordan now without actually having the threat of Chilton right behind him. So if he can get past now cleanly, it will give him the perfect position for the independents.
Not going to be easy though, because Jordan is quick down the Brabham Straight, and he's got enough pace everywhere else at the moment to just stay in front. Doesn't have to hold the defensive line into the hairpin. This is where the BMW is good on the exit here, but it's ever so difficult to get down the inside in the next corner, so tight into the left-hander.
Yeah, but this is touring cars, and what's the front bumper for? You know, I mean, Stephen Kane knows that, and he can close either into Clearways or into Druids, and just the slightest touch will allow him to slide through.
Good underbraking, as you say, as he comes up to Clearways, but he's not close enough. Jordan took a fairly tight line, gets on the power, and that turbocharged new generation touring car engine does pull him out of the corner very effectively, and it just opens up that gap again over Stephen Kane. It's another lap done, and they go on to lap 23 out of 27.
Yeah, it's definitely Druids is where Kane's got the chance, because he's very quick through paddock, and he can run up to the back on the brakes here, just push him wide. Is he going to do? He's thinking about it. He's working it out for himself, but that's the only place he can get really close to Jordan.
In the background is still Tom Chilton narrowly holding on to 3rd place from Rob Collard and Matt Jackson. These guys working very hard. They've got to be careful not to run too wide over that curb at Graham Hill Bend. Some of them do get penalised. Apparently Gordon Shedden's on a final warning for running all 4 wheels over that curb on the exit of Graham Hill Bend, so they do have to be careful about running beyond track limits.
Yeah, you can see that Jordan gets enough of a gap along the back straight and through Surtees that really Kane is too far away to lunge into Clearway. So definitely Paddock is the best place. I mean, Druids is the best place.
23 laps completed. We're on to lap 24 out of 27. The British Touring Car season is gradually winding down. Where is Jason Plato? He's not a factor in this race. He might have won 2 races today, but he's all the way down in 9th. There he is. He's and perhaps as Gordon said, you know, the concentration now is totally different. Once you've won that championship, you're in a different zone, and perhaps it's just not right for Jason now.
Yeah, I think it worked 2 ways, can't it? You can either, in your euphoria of the stress being lifted, deliver a great performance, or, as so often is the case after months of tension and stress and everything else, side by side, that's Collard and Jackson.
Yeah, Jackson's taking that place. That's 4th place for Matt Jackson. He's got past Collard in the battle of the BMWs. Great deal of honour at stake between the 2 teams. The Airways crew and the WSR crew, they'll all be cheering their guys on, and Paul O'Neill's going to make it 3 abreast. Oh, he really had that car dancing over the bump, didn't he? But he's got it in between.
Wow, he was definitely thinking about passing both of them then, wasn't he?
Yeah, that was great stuff. I bet he had his heart in his mouth at one point there, though. The car was going all over the place. And up front, Andrew Jordan is still in front. He has not been passed yet by Stephen Kane. He could hold on here. Well, let's wait and see.
Yeah, just going back to Jason Plato, I think sort of what I was saying is that in the euphoria of winning, the stress is all lifted, and perhaps he's just, you know, taken a 10th off his driving. You know, he's so relieved now, he doesn't have to go for anything.
So out they come then to cross the line. It'll be 25 laps completed out of 27, on to lap 26 as they cross the line. 2 to go then. Andrew Jordan looking for his second win, but Stephen Kane is also looking for his second win of the season. Remember, Stephen, he won at the season opener at Thruxton, and he was such a consistent podium finisher in the early part of the year, if you remember. But at the moment, it looks like Tom Chilton's going to win this Independence title because he's only 1 place behind Kane in 3rd, and that would certainly bring him some pleasure, some delight to finish the season. His teammate Tom Onslow-Coles had a horrible day, but Tom Chilton may well come through to take the Indy title. But who's going to take the final win of 2010? We're going to find out pretty soon. They've got just over a lap to go into Clearways, and Stephen Kane, Tim, is running out of opportunities now.
Yeah, he is. I think the best chance he's got is if Jackson attacks Chilton, and look, he is very close to him on this final lap.
Through they come then, out of Clearways, across the line for the final time. Onto the last lap. Andrew Jordan leads from Stephen Kane. Tom Chilton in 3rd. Then it's Matt Jackson and Paul O'Neill. What has anybody got to offer? Can Stephen Kane get close enough on the run up to the hairpin? Will he try and nudge the Vauxhall of Andrew Jordan? He's not quite there at the moment. Gets it crossed up, and that could have lost him any chance. Look how much time that cost him. He had to go to get a little closer, but that's given a break to Andrew Jordan.
Jordan's going to do it. He's driven beautifully in this last race, resisted the pressure. Stephen Kane hasn't attacked him, resorted to violence, which is great driving, but that little mistake on the last lap has cost him the Independence Championship potentially.
Coming out of the final corner then, it's Andrew Jordan in the Pertec car who's going to take his second win in the British Touring Car Championship, and what a time to do it. The last race of the season. Andrew Jordan wins it, Stephen Kane is second, Chilton is 3rd, and we think that means he's Independence champion. Jackson 4th, O'Neill 5th, Collard is 6th ahead of Nash, Shedden, Plato and Sam Tordoff, who gets into the top 10. And what a brilliant moment for Andrew, who's had a difficult weekend. Support from the prostate cancer charity as well, emblazoned on the bonnet of that car. They've had a lot of involvement with that team this year. There's the family, so excited. What a fantastic end to their year.
Brilliant, brilliant drive. You could see Mike Jordan, Andrew's dad, on the pit wall. He's been guiding this whole year. Brilliant job by the team. They've done it themselves, taken this new NGT engine, put it in the Vectra, and they've just steadily developed it, and 2 wins, a great reward.
Well, let's just see what the reaction was like from his dad as he crossed the line just then. Mike Jordan, of course, who we know as a great driver himself. Yes, that was a great reaction from Mike indeed. They have had a really tough latter part of the season. After that victory at Croft, everything seemed to be a bit difficult for them, but they certainly finished off the season in real style there by taking the last win. But let's not forget that Jason Plato is the champion of the season. Trying to see through that low sun. He only finished 9th in that race, and that means that he's still got that target of beating Andy Rouse's tally. He's matched it, but he's still got to beat it. But he'll be back next year, and I'm sure that he'll have plenty of opportunities to go to 61 British Touring Car wins. So here we are then, the results of the final race of the season. Andrew Jordan wins it by under a second from Stephen Kane. Tom Chilton finished in 3rd place ahead of Matt Jackson. So 2 Airwaves cars in the top 4 places there. Paul O'Neill, another solid result from a great privateer outfit throughout the season, in 5th. Rob Collard was 6th in the WSR BMW, then James Nash, Gordon Shedden, Jason Plato and Sam Tordoff. Outside the top 10, we saw McDowell and Neat, Martin Depper and John George, then Martin Johnson and Arthur Forster. Ben Collins out in the gravel, of course, and we had others in trouble as well. In the overall points, as we know, Plato was champion, but we think that Chilton, with that result, will have won the Independence. Although Onslow-Coles ahead in the overall points, I do think that Chilton will have won the Independence Championship.